just move on to my slides. I just heard one question from some audience regarding authentication of SharePoint, and I have used that recently myself. So maybe if I can just answer in 1 minute. Before that, let me just pull up my slides. Let me know if you all can see my screen. Bhargav, just can you confirm?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see I
Awesome.
can see audience has confirmed as well. Yes, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, so before I move on to my discussion and my session, I would just like to answer that query regarding SharePoint because I have used that myself. So whenever we talk about any data source, so let's say when you use SharePoint or OneDrive as a data source for building your Copilot Studio, and if you want the data to be from like to be queried from your Copilot Studio from SharePoint, then maybe it is good that you add the SharePoint root site. And once you add that, if the user who has permission to that SharePoint site or whatever permissioning you add, you maintain in SharePoint, that will be stay as it is, and you don't have to worry about whether hey there is some confidential data and you don't have access to it, or some user group can only access it. Then bot will just respond they don't have the answer or rephrase it, so that authentication is still intact, so you don't have to worry about whether the unauthenticated data or users who don't have access may get some answers which they don't. So yeah, that is still there, and I have seen that. I'm working on that as well, so that is still intact. Hope it answered your query. And yeah, moving on. um Yes, today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is automated AI approvals. And this is a real life use case which I have built in for one of the internal processes, and how it will be useful, how it is using AI, and in how it is integrated with Power Platform. We're going to see that today. As usual, I don't prefer having more slides and data and content. I directly jump into the demo. So coming to a short introduction about myself, I'm Shrishti, and I am a technical consultant with more almost 7 years of experience, and I work on lot of technologies in and services in Microsoft like M365, Power Platform, Azure, or be it any. Coming to the today's topic, because I don't want to waste any further time, what exactly like AI offerings are provided in terms of Power Platform? So these are simple, which I've listed down. So whenever you or any Power Platform developer go to the Power Platform space, they can find where all they can find the Copilot or AI capabilities. So first is when you start building your flows, in the flows you can just give your prompt that hey, I want to generate a flow where any email, like whenever an email is found in my inbox with so and so subject, just send this to for some approval to any manager, etc. So that is the prompt box where you can give prompt for your flows, and the flow with trigger and actions will be built for you. You have to just maintain, you just have to grant the connection permission. We'll see that shortly. I just have kept 5 or 10 minutes overview for all the Copilot and AI offerings which is provided by Microsoft. Next, similarly, let's say I want to create a dataverse table, then still you can go ahead and you can give a prompt with all the necessary columns, what should be the data type, what is the data table name, and the table will be created for you. So for me, when I talk about or when I use Copilot, the productivity where it lies is dataverse tables. Like previously, we used to take a lot of time in creating tables, creating columns, adjusting the settings, configurations, and at least it used to take 15 to 20 minutes to pick that to create that whole table with all the columns. Now with just a prompt where you just have to give the column name and your table is ready. You can just also ask a copilot to add some sample data, and you can use this sample table and integrate either in any of the Power Automate or Power Apps or anywhere wherever you want. Next offering is Copilot in Power Apps. So here, what Copilot offers is you can, add controls, add screens, or make some whenever you are building a big Power application where your requirement is there will be more than 10 screens or multiple controls in one page. That is where the productivity has to be improved. And you can use Copilot to just give one prompt, hey, add 10 buttons with so and so name, or just add 10 buttons on the screen. It will add the buttons. Now you go and configure it. You can play with. property panel to add color, etc. But your that layer of adding each control, each button is reduced. Oh, I would suggest whenever you're building Power Apps, definitely there are two ways which people can look at it, that hey, I can just do it myself in very short period of time, while Copilot takes, you have to write prompt and you just have to wait for it to generate. So when you are creating a big Power application where there is a need of, where you can find that space where you can use that productivity, you use it as a productivity tool, please go ahead and use Copilot as that. And if it is a small application like, hey, one or two screens, and if you just want to play with Copilot, what are the capabilities it can offer, like how can I add controls, what it can do, then you can just use it for that sake, but not for smaller applications where you just are working with lesser controls and lesser screens, which probably if you are a Power App or Power Platform developer, you can do it faster. Next space where AI capabilities lies in is AI Builder. Probably, I think everyone, maybe who don't know about AI Builder, what Power Platform does is it already gives you some pre-built models where, like document intelligence, business reader, or object classification. All these are pre-built models which is directly uh, integrated or tied with your Azure AI service. So these are the same AI pre-built models which you find on your Azure AI. You can use it in your Power Platform as well. It sits under AI Builder. And next, what it provides is a new AI hub where you can go ahead and use the GPT capabilities. Like you would have heard about Azure OpenAI. What Azure OpenAI provides is GPT 3.5, GPT 4, DALI, all those models. So similarly, to reduce that gap for Power Platform developer, Microsoft is providing AI Hub where you can directly use pre-built GPT models like summarized text, prompts, etc. Also, you can create your own custom prompts. So this is the new AI Hub where you can directly integrate this ready-to-use prompt-based models and integrate with your Power Apps or Power Automate. And as I mentioned, few of the other AI, which is document intelligence, document processing, invoice processing, that is always there. So coming back to my agenda. So we'll have a quick look at Copilot offerings in all the Power Platform, and then I will come to my use case, what exactly the use case which I'm going to talk about today, and how that use case will help you or your organization, or if there is a similar requirement at your organization, how you can make the most of it. Let's just go ahead to the okay. Yes. So I am in my Power, if you can see, this is Power App Studio homepage. And if I go to the correct, okay. Now, when I was in the homepage for the other environment, I was not able to see that prompt box. Why? Because the simple reason is a few regions don't support Copilot as of now. And if you want that environment to support, then all you have to do is you have to ask your admin, go to the admin center and go to the environments. Just wait for a second to load. I'll go to the default environment, and here there is no Copilot home option, or I can give prompt and Copilot will build flows and apps for me. So how you can do that? There is one section called generative AI features. You have to move, just click on edit. Once you set this move data across region to yes and save it, this environment will also have Copilot prompt box for your environment. If you have your demo tenant, please go ahead and give it a try. And if you don't have a demo environment, then maybe who is the admin, probably organization won't allow it, but it is better to do such POCs or playground features into your separate demo tenants. So just give this a try. I'll go to my environment where I already have Copilot. So this is the environment where you won't be seeing the generative AI feature because it already has Copilot enabled. How can I see that? You see this homepage, and this is the prompt box. Now, when you see the prompt box in the homepage, you can just describe few things. What it is going to do is behind the scenes, it is going to create a Dataverse table for me. So as of now, whenever you see this prompt box feature, either in your Power Automate or in Power Apps, it needs Dataverse as well. So when Dataverse license, because it is backed by Dataverse as of now. So whenever you give some prompt that, hey, I want to create a ticket booking application, then what it will do is it will just spin up a sample data was stable according to ticket booking. You can just tweak with the data. You can add more columns, make some changes in the column types, column name, etc. And then you can use that data source, and a sample screen will be created for you in the Power Apps, which is ready to use. Now you can play more with that Power App screen and do a lot of things. So this is one place where you can see Copilot. Next, I'll go to the flow. Yes, so this is the flow, make.powerautomate.com. And if you see in the homepage, here the scenario is different. You can just give some prompt. So example, let's just pick this one, copy all the rows, okay? Sample one. You can give your own prompts as well. And see here, this is the suggested flow which Microsoft Copilot is giving you, Microsoft Copilot as part of our platform. That according to your given prompt, this is the trigger and these are the actions. Do you like this and do you want to move ahead? If you hit next, and it will just take the connection because we are using Excel as one of the connectors. So definitely you need connections to be maintained as well. Once you are connected, hit create flow and the flow will be created for you. All you have to do is just have to configure some steps, like what is the Excel file, where it is located, what table am I looking at, so and so. So all these configuration properties you have to do it. And along with that, there is also a Copilot panel wherein any time, any point of time, you can go ahead and just ask Copilot to add some of the actions, do add some variables or any of the operational things. You can do that, and it will do it for you. So this is where Copilot, as of now, comes into the picture. And coming now to my scenario, what we are going to do is I'll take you through the AI Hub to elaborate few points. Okay. So this is new AI Hub, which is only available in the co-piloted environment. Okay. Like where your co-pilot is enabled, only that environment will have this AI Hub. What it offers is, let's look at the AI models, AI prompts. So now, if you can see that apart from all the AI builder things like document, business reader, or object classification, etc., like all those, probably you all have heard about it a lot of times. Next, it also provides few more things in prompts like, hey, I want to classify text. Now, also maybe there is a big summary of text, and from where you just want to pick up, can you just give me the project name from this whole summary? That's it. That is the extract information from text. Next, maybe you have a large documents. You keep on, probably business analyst. What they do is they always deal with large type of documentations, and maybe it is always good for them to just glance a summary when when they want to quickly respond to something, or they want to set up a meeting to understand just the gist of it. So maybe they can use this feature where they can pass the whole text. Firstly, what they have to do is they have to use the AI builder capabilities to read, to convert the text, document text to a text using one model, which is OCR. Next, you can just tie this up with summarized text and what you are good to go. All the information from the document, it will just give you a quick summary of it, and you can read it, right? Summary is very useful. Now let's say I don't want to just read summary in paragraph. That is the boring way. I don't want to read paragraphs now, and I want to just create one custom prompt where you summarize the text for me, but in the bulleted format, or in less than 50 words, in less than 100 words, give it in the format of table, etc. You can summarize it in more beautiful manner as well. For that, what you can do is you can just go ahead and create a custom prompt. Here, there is an option for creating a custom prompt. If I go to the custom prompt, just hit create. And what you can do is summarize the following text, comma, add dynamic value. Here, your whole document cut text or documentation, maybe 1,000 words or whatever text wording count it is, you can just pass it here and name it. Fine. Now you are done. You can also test this prompt. All you have to do is in the variable, you have to pass that whole document. Let's just pick one thing. I will pick up something from documentation to see whether that really works or not. What's Power App? Yeah. And we can pick up some data which has lot of, maybe let's go to the Canvas apps overview. What are Canvas apps? Yeah. Okay, let's pass this much of information. Where is it? Yeah. Let me pass, and I will also pass you more details. How I can, use this, build an app, and all the information here. Let's see what it does. And I want to test the prompt. Okay. So now if you can see, I had given lot of paragraphs definitely. It gives me a response. It is a very summarized version, how I can get started once the app is completed, what I can do, and what are the next steps, and what exactly Canvas apps is. This is very simple, right? And I can also more tweak here, summarize the following text in less than 5 bullet points. Once you are done, Control X, I just want to test. See, this is so simple. You can create your own custom prompt. Once you save this custom prompt, now you can use this anywhere in your Power Apps or Power Automate. And you can also club this with other AI builder capabilities as well. So we are going to do the same thing. This is just one example. Just let it save. And yeah, saved saved this custom prompt. Close this window, and this is saved. You can rename this. Probably I didn't do that as of now, just to demo it. Once it is done, if I go to the Power, this thing, Power Automate, I'll go to Create Instant Cloud Flow, just to show you guys how you can integrate it. This is a new designer. Probably everyone is aware as of now. Manual trigger. Mm, Manual trigger. Where is it? Yeah. Here it is. Once this is done, you just hit next, add an action in the AI builder. Just search for AI builder, and you will see more. Create text with GPT using prompts. You have to use this. Give the prompt. This is the model which we are going to use, and summarize text. So let me just give this data here to quickly verify, and we will save this. We could have also taken this from the input, but I just want to show it how you can use it. Let's just hit save and test quickly. Okay. So ideally, whenever you add create text with GPT prompt, you will always receive a warning. Why? Because this is AI generated data. You're doing everything which is AI generated. So ideally, it is suggested whatever is AI generated, you add an approval stage below this, so that you don't totally rely on AI, and you are the pilot who is running this. So add an approval, and just add who should review this, whatever AI is generated, and once they find this is good and ready to go, and then you can take further steps. So hence you are seeing this warning, and whenever you will use this connect action, you will get this warning until you use the approval stage. So quickly test this and check this out. Check the response. Let's wait. Okay. Now if I go to the outputs, and if you see the text which is generated here, it's correct, right? It is just a short version of text, while what I've passed is a whole lot of page. So this is how you can integrate it. I hope you understood as of now. Let's go back to the scenario which I have picked up for today. Okay, so what scenario I'm elaborating is just think about it. Whenever, let's say, your stakeholders, where the decision making is the power, like Let's say that you are making some policies in your organization, or they are the decision makers who are going to make that policy, and you as an employee, you will be affected by it. There are multiple such scenarios like risk analysis, or you can take any of that health and safety and HSSC, normal, any of those, right? So whenever in all organizations such decisions are made, those are very critical decisions which are made as part of organization. Now, how AI can help here is, let's say, you can just consider an example of normal risk analysis, and there is an Excel which goes every month to a risk assessment team. And now, what they do is, okay, in the risk assessment management, environment related high risk, low risk, safety related high risk, low risk, or any of this like technological or etc. This is a one Excel file where you have multiple verticals and the risks are maintained. Now, this is passed to that risk team where they evaluate the risks. And what you can do is maybe use this gap for AI. What it will do, let's say, whenever this document is passed to that team or that manager who is managing this risk assessment thing, they will only receive when there is a high risk. Now, whenever you send the document over an email, they have to definitely look at that documentation with the business case that, hey, for this business case, this is the risk, and please evaluate and see whether we can get an approval or not. Now, your AI can play a good role where you can do one thing. Let AI review that document and see, okay, if this is going beyond this threshold or this risk, only then you send out it to this manager. If this is below that threshold or below this limitation, then maybe it is good to go. AI can directly approve it. So this is the scenario which I have taken for one of the use case and how I have built the flow. Let's just go ahead and see that in action. So I'll go to the flow. What is that flow? Let's go to the environment. Just a second. Yeah, just give me a moment. I'm in the wrong environment, it looks like. No, this is just the one which I created. Yeah, correct. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the risk assessment manager mailbox. Assume that there is a risk assessment manager. They receive an email every month or whenever they receive the emails with risk documents and business documents. And definitely they will have some subject that, hey, this is the risk analysis document for February, for January, for March, or for this quarter. What we are going to do is we are going to go to that manager's mailbox. We're going to go to that document of risk where that Excel has risks maintained. I'll show it just after I complete the justification. And then we'll find out whether, hey, this is really a high risk thing or not. If this is a really high risk, then great. Then save that thing in one variable. Next, we are going to go to the summary, like go to the other document where the whole business process for which the business the risk is calculated, so that what happens is whenever that manager is reading it, he doesn't have to go through that 10-page documentation. He can just go to that business case summary and say, hey, this is the summary, this is the risk, approve or reject. This is what we are going to do. So here in the flow, if you see, this is the mailbox where we are going to the risk assessment management mailbox. I have just given my name, my ID as of now. I'm declared few variables. Just skip those. We're going to go to the main section, apply to each. Okay, stop this. Yeah. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the attachments. So there are two attachments. One is the one where risk is calculated, and one is the whole business scenario for which the risk is calculated for the month. So here in the risk assessment document, I'm going to go inside. Here I have used the AI builder model, which is the other AI builder capabilities, like extracting the information from the document. This is ready to use. You can, this is the pre-built one. What it gives is you just have to pass that document. You have to train. Probably either if you are using for the normal invoices, you can use it directly. I have created for the separate use case where my template was different. So I trained with those templates and I'm created a document processing model. Now, once I have done training it, I'm passing that document here, extracting the information. This is the extraction of information from the JSON, and then just taking that information and passing as part of the uh, variable array variable and just saving it. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Also, I'm saving the attachment so that the approver can see this in the approval as well. So how they will be able to see it? Let me just quickly go and show it for sample. So this is the approval with the, this is the summary, and these are the documents. So I can open the business case directly, and this is the whole business case, which was 4-page document, and it just gave me the summary. And this is the risk document where the risk is calculated. Just open that, and this is how the risk is. So if I zoom in a bit to show you, so for risk assessment, the food related risk assessment was calculated. And if you see the whole document, there are few probability and severity of risks which are maintained. Some are remote, some are uh, likely to happen, moderate. But where is the high risk? So there is also a given that is given there in the Excel itself. So if the probability, this is how it is calculated, this is how the severity is calculated. So almost certain and catastrophic are the utmost, high risks kind of. This is what the use case which I have developed. Maybe you can have low, medium, high, any sort of risks which you can calculate. So these are the two documents. Now for me as a risk manager or assessment manager, it is very simple. I can just go and see the details, and you can also add, just like I've added, this is an AI generated summary of the business case for reference, and this is the summary with the documents, whether you want to approve, reject, etc. Why this happened? Because what I've done is I've built it in a fashion where that manager will always receive the information, but here I'm getting an approval because it was high risk. Manager will not receive an approval. They will only receive the summary over an email if it was a low risk, saying that it is automatically approved. The key person who sent out an email will just receive that, hey, your manager approved it directly because it was low risk, and this is the summary. Even your manager will receive that same email. So this is the use case which I tried to build. And if I go back to the flow again, parallelly I am also looking at the other attachment, which is the business case, where I have used the direct to use AI prompt. Here I'm recognizing the text. This is one where document is getting converted into text. This is what is happening here. Once that is done, I'm passing that whole text into the GPT, create text with GPT. This is what I showed you just now. You can just pass that whole text here and summarize the following content with that variable, that whole content which you got from the above. Once that is done, save it in the variable. Next is the approval stage. Let me just close this, apply to each. Once you get all those two information, whether it is high risk and the summary, next what I'm doing is I'm just going and checking that, hey, whether the information which I got from the assessment was was it truly a high risk, just that is the condition. If yes, then just go for an approval, give that analysis. This is the summary which we got, and also attach the documentations to documentation. Next, once that approval is completed, send out an email. That is what we are doing here. If it was low risk, then directly just send out an email to that user who wanted an approval saying that, hey, this is auto approved. So this is how you can bridge, you can reduce, you use that gray area to directly approve. This is where you just have to maintain the threshold, whether, hey, if it is below that moderate, then you can auto approve it. Definitely this evaluation you can check with your, the risk assessment team can get together. They can just go and evaluate for what all things they can auto approve, the AI can auto approve, and for what all it needs permission, and divide it and just build sort of a process where you are good to go. You can just directly consume this, and the organization can get a lot of benefit. This is just one simple example where a risk kind of example I've taken. Maybe you can have this into some more use cases as well, either for some decision making or for some renewals, etc. Any of those you can use it. Or if not, you can directly pick and plug and play any of those summarize thing or send out an approval, read text, anything from this as well. This is the overall use case which was beneficiary for the risk assessment team. You can follow the same foot steps and maybe you can use it as well. Coming back, let's just go ahead and test this. Okay, let me just send out an email so that we can test it more elaborative way. Okay, let me just send out an email to the right now the email inbox is checking of this user, and I will just quickly add the risk. What is the filter which I've added? Probably I need to check that. Okay, so just add this analysis approval, and maybe I'll just add few documents like business case and one of the risk assessment. Okay, if I preview this document, you can see that there are, this is the high risk, catastrophic, and almost certain. If this both are fine, both or any one of them is fine in any of the document, then this is considered a high risk. You can assume that for today's scenario. Rest you can just have it as of as and when which way you want. Going back to my flow, let's just send this email. Okay, and let's wait for our flow to trigger. Go back. Okay, see this is running right. And we'll go to the user where they will receive an notification. Let's go ahead and wait for the approvals. You will find the approvals in two ways, also in your team's approval section and also in your email. So in your email, if you see, this is the same approval which you saw it in the teams. You can approve or reject it from here as well. But this was the previous one. I'll wait for the one which is triggered as of now. Let's wait for a
Shruti,
few seconds.
sorry, Srishti, just a quick check. You have about 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, let's wait and see where the flow is. Go to the flow, and yes, it has completed. Okay, let's go and view it. So if you see, there are two attachments. Firstly, it was able to find the risk assessment template. From that, it was able to extract the risks. Okay. If I click to download, then it will be able to get all the information from the document. And I'm managing that. You see here, this is the document. But if I pass the JSON, apply to each year, I've maintained what all risks I'm getting. So probability is remote and severity should be insignificant. So these are the two which I'm getting as of now. And if I go to the other run in the next attachment, because we added two attachments, in the next run, it will find the business case. It has gone here. Inside this, if you see, I'm using a recognized text from the document. So it was able to recognize the text. And if you can see, this is the output. If I pass it below, there are multiple lines. So there is a way in which you recognize the text from documents. You have to go to the document level, then into the page, and then into the lines. So this is how you have to build the flow. Once that operation is done, page, lines, etc. This is the line which is it is getting. Then I'm just clubbing all those together and saving it. So this is the overall content which we are getting. Once that content is fetched from the document, pass that whole content to the GPT to summarize it for me, and this is the output. So if I click on raw outputs, it will be very, very small or version. So just copy it. And we'll open a notepad to see whether it is really shortened the text or not. So see, it is just one paragraph and the document data is also relevant. Once that is done, we are storing that into a variable and storing the attachment. And later now it is passed on to the approval stage. Okay. So let's go here and see there is an approval which you have received. This is received to the risk assessment manager with the documents and the summary, the exact summary which we have got here. See, this is the same summary. And once it is done, I approve. You can also reassign or reject. Let's just hit approve. And you should also have received an email, but now it should change to approved. Yes, it's done. The flow will move ahead, and it will send out a confirmation email to the person who was asking for the approval from the risk assessment manager, saying that it is approved. So let's wait for a minute till the flow runs. Okay. Till that time, if you have any questions, because we are running short of time, you can please feel free. I'll check the chat if there is any questions. Um, yes, Mahesh, I think you have any question. Please go ahead.
Mahesh, please go ahead with your question. I think you're speaking on mute, Mahesh. I can see your hands up.
Sorry, I'm audible now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Srishti. Mahesh, I just wanted to understand this. You strategize to read the content and understand the data and privacy factors about the confidential
Hmm.
of the document, right?
Right.
Um, could there be any way to categorize this document with the metadata properties about sensitive labeling? So then go for a approval process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe you can do that when you start building that flow. So if I go back to my, can just show you quickly in the AI models.
Hmm.
So I have used document processing custom model, if you see here.
Hmm.
And if I edit this model, more details, just a second. So while you're training, probably the one who can manage and maintain confidential data, they will have to pass those template. Maybe you don't pass the confidential data, but pass that schema. I'll go to the edit draft to showcase.
Hmm.
Yeah. So here we ideally manage what all metadata we want to extract. So
Hmm.
one such thing, if your documentation is confidential, so maybe good
Hmm.
to add that, hey, also identify what type of documentation it is, like sensitivity labels. You can
Hmm.
also pass that as a metadata property here and get that back when you want to go for approval. So let's say if it is highly confidential, then probably you might need approval definitely. If it is less confidential, like internal usage, etc., then using that metadata value, just like how I'm extracting the text from the Excel, like, hey, if it is very severe or just moderately severe, based on that, I'm passing on approval, etc. You can do that as well. Just add a metadata property here, and all you have to do is make sure that your documents has that noted somewhere. So as you can see, maybe this is not the correct one, but yeah, this is an example. You create a new collection. Let me just add. Whenever you pass the document, somewhere it should be noted down or somewhere it should mention that this is highly confidential, either at the
Okay.
top header. Yeah. Only then
Yeah.
your model will be able to understand that, hey, this is highly confidential because I've got this information from document, because document will not understand the sensitivity label which is you have added as part of your organization, right? It will just understand the text. It will extract text information from it. So
Yeah,
that
I
you'll have
got
to
it.
manage.
I got
Yeah.
it. You made a sense to have a language model that could understand the content of the data to define on
Correct.
specific criteria, then push it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Then
so
if
much,
yes,
Srishti.
yes, you can use this model and then proceed ahead with the approval or whatever you want to do next. But yeah, you can extract metadata as you mentioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes. I think I'm already top of 1 2 minutes, but it is taking a bit slow. I'm not sure why. But once this is done, the approval is completed. You will receive an email saying that exact same email which you saw it in the approval stage. You will receive same email. I can show a rough one. Maybe I need to find that out, but yeah, you will definitely receive an email, something like this: approved for high risk investment and auto approved for low risks one with the information. Okay, but and this is just the played one, like very old one with no business case, etc. But you will receive all that information as well. So this is how you can use it for your use case. Yes, I will stop, and maybe Bhargav, do we have 1 or 2 more minutes for questions or?
I would encourage to take the questions over chat, Srishti,
Sure.
and so that we invite the next speaker. But yeah, great
Okay.
session, great
Thank
learning
you
as
so much,
well.
everyone. And I will be there in chat if you want to have any questions. I can answer that. And thanks,
And if there
Bhargav.
is anything pertaining to your output that you would like to probably once you receive it, if you would like to showcase, probably take a screenshot and put it in the chat so
Yeah,
that they should be able to see that output, right?
sure.
Thanks a lot. Sandil, could you please take over, please? We have a next session from Sandil Kumar. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Rusty.
Sure, Bhagav. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, all good.
All
All
good?
good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let me quickly share the screen. Just give me a second. I'm just sharing my content and what happened? Oh, no.
Do you see the share button on top?
No, no, I'm